Hello and welcome to today's supplementary video where we're going to learn how to make a chalice and pattern from salt dough. Now you should find a recipe in your pack, but basically you need a cup, a bowl, some salt, and some plain flour. And of course some water. So first of all, fill your cup up with 1 cup of plain flour, and then repeat so that you've got 2 cups of plain flour in the bowl. I put a tablecloth on the table to try and minimise the amount of mess that I'm going to make. Okay. So there's my 2 cups of plain flour in the bowl. There it is. And then you put 1 cup of salt in. There we go. It's very satisfying hearing it pour in. Put that down there. Okay, pour in the salt. And then finally, the recipe says to put in 1 cup of water. But my advice is to start off with 1 cup of water and just to add the water from the cup slowly, little by little, mixing as you go along. So here's my water. I'm going to pour out a cup. Now you can use a spoon if you want to do that. I'm just going to use my hands. I put most of the water in, but not all of it, because I'm going to get mucky hands anyway. Just then mixing it all in together like this. You basically want to make a nice dough that is malleable. So there we go. I think that's probably got all the water in, soaked in at the moment. So I'm going to put just a little bit more water in. I might use up the whole cup, but it's best just to go little by little with the water. It's beginning to get a bit dough-like. I'm just scrunching it all together. I've got a bit of a ball there going on, but it hasn't yet used up all of the mixture. So I'm just going to keep going just for a few more minutes, blending in as much of it as I possibly can. And then I'll add a little bit more water, not too much, because it does get very sticky once you put the water in. And I'm just mixing it all together to make this dough. We're getting there now, bit by bit. Right, I probably could put in a little bit more water. There we go. I've just put really a drop in this time because a little bit of water goes a long way. It's definitely beginning to look more like dough now and less like flour and salt. It's certainly good exercise for your arms making this. There we go. Right, so here is the dough. I'm just going to squeeze it together a bit more just to get it all really, really mixed in. There we are. Now, once you've got your dough like this, to make the pattern in the chalice is really easy. So if you start off with a nice lump about this big, there it is, roll it into a ball. If it falls apart, just squeeze it again. Make a ball. Now this is going to be the cup part of the chalice. So I'm basically going to mould it now into the shape of a cup, just using my fingers like this. Okay, so that's the first bit. Then I'm going to take another bit I'm going to put a couple of balls on my chalice. So I'm going to make a circle there and then another circle. Just rolling it round. If it falls apart, just squeeze it back in together again, like that. There we go. There's another one. And then this time I'm going to make a nice thick cylinder shape, and that will be the stem then of the chalice. So I'm just squeezing it all together. Okay, and rolling it out and making it nice and firm. There we go. And then I'm going to put my balls. There's one, and there's the other one. So it's on top, and then the cup bit will sit on there. Okay. Now bear in mind it's going to be very squidgy and bendy at the moment, because what it really needs to do is to cook in the oven to make it really dry and firm. So don't worry if it all squishes all over the place like mine is at the moment. Okay, and then I'm just going to make sure it sits up. There we go. Lovely. And then finally, I'm going to make a nice flat bit by getting a big bit and making it into a circle again, squeezing it as I go along. There we go. And this will be the base, the very bottom of the chalice. So there we go. Just moulding it as I go along. And make a big circle. Nice and round, but quite flat, like that. And then I can fix that to the bottom. Okay, so there is my chalice. I might want to do a bit of work later on the stem there, just to make it a bit more shaped before I put it in the oven. But hopefully you get the basic idea. And then to make the pattern, you again take a nice big bit of dough and roll it up into a big circle. And then there's my clock going. So you've got a nice big circle like this, and flatten it out to make it as big as you want. There we go, so you've got a big circle, and then take a smaller piece, and this time we're going to roll it into a sausage, because this will go on the bottom of the pattern to make it into a plate. There we go. Keep rolling, just keep working it together. If it crumbles a bit, just keep squidging it all together until it's more malleable. There we are. Nearly there. So again, just rolling it together. You could do this on the table too, it doesn't really matter. Just make it as long as I can. And then I'm going to put that into a circle and then fix it to the bottom like this. Do a bit more working on it. And then I'm just pressing in so that it makes more of a plate shape. And there we go. You have a very simple, there's your pattern. And there's your chalice. Now the next thing you need to do is you need to let them dry out really slowly, and it's best just put them in the oven at a really low temperature for several hours until they harden off. Have fun. I'm sure you can do a lot better job than I have. So just remember, start off by making the cup shape. You can add a few circles for the balls, and then a cylinder and a bit at the bottom to make it flat. And to make the pattern, It's a nice circle with a bit on the bottom to just make it more into a plate shape. Okay, have fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these.